Ladies and gentlemen, imagine waking up tomorrow and realizing that your dreams are no closer than they were yesterday. Imagine seeing others succeed while you're still stuck, wondering why it hasn't happened for you. The truth is, it's not talent, luck, or opportunity holding you back. It's discipline. Discipline is the invisible force that separates the ordinary from the extraordinary, the dreamers from the achievers. Today, I'm going to show you why mastering discipline isn't just important, it's the key that unlocks your entire future. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to pause for a moment and think about your day-to-day life. How often do you find yourself saying, "I'll start tomorrow," or "I'll do it next week"? How many times have you let distractions, excuses, or fleeting feelings of comfort decide the outcome of your life? You see, success doesn't come from talent alone, from luck, or from waiting for the perfect moment. Success comes from one thing: discipline, not the discipline that comes from fear or obligation, but the discipline that comes from understanding why you do what you do. Discipline is not about doing what you love every single day. It's about doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. It's about showing up consistently, even when the world tells you it's okay to take a break. You don't wake up one day and suddenly have discipline. Discipline is built like a muscle. And like any muscle, it grows only through effort, struggle, and repeated practice. Each time you choose to prioritize your long-term vision over short-term comfort, you are strengthening that muscle. The most successful people in history didn't achieve greatness because they had more time, more money, or more talent. They achieved it because they mastered the art of showing up. They built habits that supported their goals, even on the days when they were tired, discouraged, or doubted themselves. Discipline is invisible in the moment. It doesn't come with applause or recognition, but over months and years it compounds, and suddenly, what seemed impossible becomes inevitable. Discipline is not about rigidity, it's about clarity. When you are disciplined, you make decisions based on your vision, not on fleeting emotions. You plan, you prepare, and you execute because you understand that your future self deserves more than your present self can give. Every morning, when you wake up and choose to follow through, you are sending a message, not just to the world but to yourself, that your goals matter more than your excuses. And here's the truth: discipline doesn't remove struggle. Discipline doesn't make life easier. In fact, discipline is uncomfortable. It demands sacrifice. It asks you to turn down distractions and to say no to immediate gratification. But it is this very discomfort that forges strength, resilience, and character. Without discipline, talent is wasted. Without discipline, dreams remain dreams. Discipline transforms intention into action, action into habits, and habits into results. Think about the difference between people who complain about life and those who shape it. The difference is often not opportunity, not luck, but discipline. Discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. It is the consistent practice of showing up, doing the work, and honoring your commitments. It is the quiet voice that reminds you, keep going, when everything in you wants to quit. And here's the most important part: discipline is contagious. When you commit to it, when you structure your life around it, you inspire others. Your actions become proof that success is not a result of chance but of intentional, consistent effort. People are drawn to those who demonstrate control over themselves, because control over self is control over destiny. So ask yourself today, what will you do not when you feel like it, but when you don't? How will you honor your future by showing up consistently in the present? Because the reality is, discipline is not a punishment. Discipline is the key that unlocks potential, that turns dreams into achievements, and that separates those who talk about success from those who live it every single day. Discipline is more than routine. It is a mindset, a choice, a way of being that aligns your actions with your aspirations. Every decision, every sacrifice, every early morning, every disciplined action compounds. Success is not an accident. It is earned, one disciplined moment at a time. Let's dig even deeper. Discipline is not just about the actions you take, it's about the mindset you cultivate. It's about creating a framework for your life where every choice, no matter how small, aligns with your larger purpose. Imagine a sculptor with a block of marble. Every strike of the chisel, precise and intentional, brings the vision closer to reality. Discipline is your chisel. Each decision, each effort, each commitment shapes your future in ways that are often invisible until the moment of breakthrough. Too often, people mistake motivation for discipline. Motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes like the tide. One day you wake up inspired, and the next day you wake up exhausted or distracted. But discipline doesn't rely on motivation. Discipline persists when motivation fades. Discipline is what makes you get out of bed at 5 a.m. when all you want to do is sleep. Discipline is what makes you finish a project when the excitement has worn off. Discipline is what allows you to stay focused when the world around you is loud, tempting, and chaotic. Think about the most significant achievements in your life, the moments you look back on and feel proud. Chances are, those were moments born not from sheer talent, but from persistence, from the unwillingness to give up, from the ability to prioritize long-term growth over short-term comfort. And this is why discipline is more than just a habit. It's a philosophy. It's a commitment to excellence in the face of resistance, a willingness to do what most people won't, so you can achieve what most people can't. Here's another truth that is rarely spoken. Discipline is lonely. The world celebrates talent, creativity, and instant results, but it rarely celebrates the hours, the sacrifices, the repetitive grind that actually create those results. When you commit to discipline, you might find that people around you don't understand your choices. They may even question your methods, ridicule your commitment, or discourage your efforts. And this is exactly why discipline is a test, not just of your ability to act, but of your ability to stay true to your purpose despite external noise. But here's the beauty: discipline creates freedom. It may sound paradoxical. You might think that discipline is restrictive, that it confines you to rules, schedules, and routines. But in reality, discipline gives you the power to choose. The more disciplined you become, the less you are controlled by impulses, habits, or circumstances. The more disciplined you become, the more capable you are of shaping your life on your own terms. Every disciplined action compounds, building momentum that carries you further than any fleeting inspiration ever could. Discipline also teaches resilience. It teaches you to stand up when you fall, to face failure without fear, and to embrace challenges as opportunities for growth. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you are rewiring your brain to handle adversity. You are building the mental toughness that separates those who succeed from those who fail. The world will test you, life will throw obstacles in your path, you will face fatigue, frustration, and setbacks. But if you have cultivated discipline, these challenges become stepping stones instead of barriers. And discipline is not just about individual achievement, it's about impact. When you live a disciplined life, your work, your relationships, your influence, everything improves. People notice consistency. People respect commitment. People are drawn to individuals who operate with intentionality and integrity. Discipline inspires trust, loyalty, and credibility. You become someone others can rely on, someone whose word carries weight, someone whose presence brings stability in chaos. That is the true power of discipline. It not only shapes your life, but also elevates the lives of those around you. We often underestimate the small decisions. We think it's just one day, one task, one choice. But discipline lives in those small moments. Every time you choose to do the right thing over the easy thing, you are sending a message to yourself: I am committed, I am capable, I am worthy of success. The small wins accumulate, creating momentum that carries through the weeks, months, and years. Discipline turns ordinary actions into extraordinary results, and ordinary people into leaders, innovators, and visionaries. Consider this: the most successful people you admire, they didn't achieve their status overnight. They weren't lucky. They didn't rely solely on inspiration. They showed up every day doing the work that most people wouldn't. They embraced discomfort, they endured criticism, they resisted shortcuts, and they stayed committed to their vision even when the payoff seemed distant. Their lives are living proof that discipline is the engine behind every accomplishment worth achieving. Discipline also shapes your identity. It transforms not just what you do, but who you are. When you act with discipline consistently, you begin to see yourself differently. You start to believe in your own capabilities, to trust in your own judgment, to take ownership of your life. You no longer wait for external validation or permission. You no longer let fear dictate your choices. Discipline becomes your character, your signature, and your advantage in a world where most people lack it. And let me emphasize this, discipline is not about perfection, it's about persistence. It's about getting up one more time than you fall. It's about moving forward even when progress feels slow. Even when results aren't immediate, the disciplined person trusts the process. They understand that mastery, achievement, and success are cumulative. They understand that every deliberate action, no matter how small, contributes to a larger, inevitable outcome. So, as you reflect on your life and your goals, recognize that discipline is the differentiator. It's the invisible force that transforms potential into reality, dreams into accomplishments, and effort into legacy. It's the constant companion of those who refuse to settle for mediocrity, the anchor for those navigating uncertainty, and the fuel for those daring to pursue extraordinary lives. Discipline is not just a tool, it's the heartbeat of progress, the rhythm that guides achievement, and the compass that aligns action with purpose. Every step you take in discipline, every choice you make to honor your commitments, every moment you resist the easy path, compounds into the life you envision. Now, let's explore the deeper layers of discipline because it is not just a habit, it is a way of thinking. Discipline requires foresight, the ability to see the long-term consequences of every choice you make today. Most people make decisions based on immediate feelings or short-term rewards, but those who succeed understand that life is shaped by the compound effect of small, consistent actions. Every decision to stay focused, every sacrifice to prioritize what truly matters, is an investment in a future that will eventually repay far more than you could imagine. Discipline also demands accountability. It's easy to blame circumstances, to justify procrastination, or to wait for someone else to set the rules. But discipline asks, what am I doing today to honor my goals? It asks you to measure yourself not against others, but against the highest version of yourself. The disciplined person does not make excuses. They make adjustments. They assess, correct, and recommit. This accountability is not punitive. It is empowering. It gives you control over outcomes that others leave to chance. Consider this, the world rewards reliability more than brilliance. Many of the most brilliant ideas never succeed because they were abandoned halfway, left to the whims of motivation or emotion. But disciplined action creates results that are visible, undeniable, and unstoppable. When you commit to a disciplined path, you are effectively putting yourself in the top percentile of those who actually follow through. And follow through is the bridge between intention and achievement. Without it, ideas remain dreams. Without it, potential remains untapped. Discipline also reshapes your environment. When you make a decision to live intentionally, everything around you begins to align with that choice. Your habits, your priorities, and even the people you surround yourself with start to reflect the standards you set for yourself. You become a magnet for opportunities that match your commitment. Discipline attracts focus, consistency, and momentum because those who are disciplined create space in their lives for the things that truly matter, rather than filling it with distractions and noise. And let's not underestimate the power of mental discipline. This is the kind of discipline that governs your thoughts, your self-talk, and the way you interpret challenges. Life will always present obstacles, setbacks, and criticism. A disciplined mind does not crumble in the face of these. It assesses, recalibrates, and perseveres. It trains itself to focus on what can be controlled and to let go of what cannot. It is not rigid, it is adaptable, resilient, and unwavering in its pursuit of purpose. Mental discipline turns fear into courage, doubt into determination, and hesitation into action. Every day, discipline gives you a choice, to settle or to strive, to follow the easy path or to follow the path that leads to growth, to be reactive or to be intentional. The cumulative power of these daily choices is enormous. Think about it: 1 hour of focused effort every day, one deliberate action toward your goals, compounds into a lifetime of achievement. Discipline is the multiplier of time, energy, and talent. It amplifies everything you do, transforming ordinary effort into extraordinary results. And here's something most people miss: discipline is liberating, not restrictive. When you have the discipline to act consistently, to resist distractions, and to prioritize your long-term goals, you free yourself from the chaos of indecision. You stop being a slave to impulse, emotion, or circumstance. You gain clarity, direction, and purpose. You begin to live life on your terms, rather than being driven by the whims of the moment. The more disciplined you are, the more freedom you actually have, because you are no longer controlled by what you feel like doing. You are controlled by what you know you must do. Discipline is also contagious. When others see someone committed, consistent, and focused, they are inspired to raise their own standards. Your discipline creates influence, not through words, but through example. People notice those who honor their commitments, who follow through when others give up, who operate with integrity and persistence. That influence becomes a ripple effect, elevating not just your own life, but the lives of those around you. And let's be clear, discipline does not eliminate failure. You will stumble, you will face setbacks. But the disciplined person sees failure differently, not as a stopping point, but as feedback. Each failure is a lesson, each obstacle a chance to grow stronger. Discipline allows you to recover faster, to recalibrate, and to return to the path with more insight, more strategy, and more resilience than before. Discipline transforms vision into action. It turns dreams into tangible results. It makes the impossible attainable, the unlikely achievable, and the ordinary extraordinary. It is the consistent application of effort in alignment with purpose, day after day, week after week, year after year. It is the force that separates those who merely wish for success from those who actually achieve it. Every choice to act with discipline sends a signal to yourself, to your future, and to the world that you are committed, that your goals are non-negotiable, that you are willing to endure discomfort, resist temptation, and persist when others quit. Discipline is the quiet engine that drives extraordinary lives, builds character, and creates legacy. Now let's take this even further, because discipline is not just about the work you do. It's about the life you build. Discipline is about consistency in the little things, because the little things compound into extraordinary outcomes. It is the choice to do what's necessary, even when no one is watching, even when the rewards seem invisible. It's the decision to honor your commitments to yourself, to your vision, and to the life you want to create. Every small act of discipline builds momentum, and momentum, once established, becomes unstoppable. Think about the mornings when you want to stay in bed, the evenings when you want to quit, or the days when life feels overwhelming. Discipline is what makes you rise, what makes you push, what makes you keep going. It's the quiet voice that whispers, "This matters, keep going." While others are distracted, hesitant, or inconsistent, the disciplined person is moving forward every single day in small but deliberate steps. These small steps, taken consistently, add up. They define careers, shape character, and determine destiny. Discipline is also about patience. Success is rarely instantaneous. The world loves to show instant wins, overnight sensations, and viral moments, but those are exceptions, not the rule. True success requires sustained effort over time. Discipline allows you to endure the slow, sometimes monotonous process of growth, knowing that each disciplined action is an investment in your future. Patience combined with discipline is unstoppable because it teaches you to trust the process, to stay consistent, and to focus on long-term results rather than short-term gratification. And here's something critical: discipline teaches mastery. Mastery is not talent alone. It is the relentless repetition of deliberate actions, the focus on refining skills, and the commitment to improvement. Discipline ensures that you don't just dabble in your goals. You commit fully, you practice intentionally, and you push past mediocrity. Every hour spent with focus and purpose compounds. Every moment where you choose discipline over distraction strengthens your ability, sharpens your skills, and elevates your performance. Consider this: every successful person you admire has one thing in common. They acted when it was hard, when it was inconvenient, when it was uncomfortable. They did not wait for motivation to strike. They created discipline, and they relied on it when motivation waned. Discipline is what allowed them to show up on the days when giving up would have been easier. Discipline is what turned their vision into reality. And this is something you can apply immediately. Every action, every decision, every habit is an opportunity to build discipline, to invest in your success, and to create momentum that no one can take away from you. Discipline also builds confidence. The more you follow through on your commitments, the more you trust yourself. You stop questioning whether you can handle challenges because you have proven to yourself again and again that you can. Confidence born from discipline is unshakable because it is rooted in action, not wishful thinking. It is the knowledge that no matter what comes, you have the tools, the habits, and the mindset to face it and move forward. And let's be honest, life will constantly tempt you to quit, to take shortcuts, to settle for less. Discipline is the force that keeps you aligned with your goals despite these temptations. It is the shield against distraction, the compass when you feel lost, and the engine that keeps you moving when everything else seems to slow down. Discipline is not always glamorous. It doesn't come with instant recognition or applause, but it is the foundation on which all achievement is built. Discipline also strengthens character. It teaches you integrity, persistence, and self-respect. When you act with discipline, you honor your word, to yourself and to others. You create trust, credibility, and influence. People notice those who are disciplined, not because they broadcast it, but because it shows in the results they achieve, the consistency of their actions, and the way they respond to adversity. Discipline becomes a reflection of who you are at your core. And here's another truth: discipline fuels freedom. It may seem counterintuitive, but the more disciplined you are, the more control you have over your life. Freedom does not come from lack of structure. It comes from the structure you create for yourself through disciplined action. Freedom comes from having the capacity to choose your path, to prioritize your purpose, and to act without being controlled by impulses or circumstance. Discipline gives you this freedom by creating the stability and consistency necessary to pursue your highest goals. Finally, discipline is contagious. Your commitment inspires others. When people see you consistently showing up, making the right choices, and prioritizing your vision over convenience, they are drawn to your example. Your discipline sets a standard, not through words, but through action. It demonstrates what is possible when someone refuses to compromise, refuses to quit, and refuses to settle. Every day is a choice. Every moment is an opportunity to exercise discipline. It's choosing to work when you're tired, to persist when you're discouraged, to focus when the world is distracting. Each of these moments compounds, shaping your future, defining your identity, and building a life that is not left to chance, but crafted through deliberate, disciplined action. Discipline is the quiet force that creates extraordinary lives, transforms potential into achievement, and makes the impossible inevitable.